Possession charge. After spending a couple of months in jail and not displaying any issues, Judge Ronhell released him on a new personal recognizance bond with an order to attend drug treatment. Eventually, both drug charges were dismissed. And after the complainant in Orozco's burglary and criminal mischief cases stopped communicating with the district attorney's office, those charges were also dropped. 47-year-old Matthew Terry. Terry's been charged with first-degree murder in the stabbing death of his live-in girlfriend, 43-year-old Kay Baker. 6 months earlier, Terry and Kay, a third-grade math and science teacher, were out at a bar with another couple. A jealous Terry spotted Kay, along with her friend Kelly Andrews, briefly dancing with an unknown man. Kelly reportedly tried to calm Terry down, and the incident seemed to blow over. But when Terry and Kay got home later that night, he allegedly attacked her, stabbing her multiple times in the neck. Kay collapsed on the front lawn, and a neighbor called 911.
911, please, fire medical.
I need emergency, please.
Do you know what happened?
My husband heard someone screaming, and then we came outside.
Do you know if this person was assaulted?
I don't know. We just came outside. They have a major wound to their neck, and they're struggling to breathe.
Is the blood spurting or pouring out?
You know, it's all over the ground.
When paramedics arrived, it was too late. Kay died on the scene from her injuries. Police, meanwhile, began a search of the home. Inside, there was no sign of Terry. But just down the street, police spotted a trail of blood. Canine officers followed it to a group of bushes where they found Terry hiding in the brush, dressed only in his underwear. Terry was arrested and charged with Kay's murder, but he claimed he wasn't responsible and pled not guilty. The case went to trial, and the state sought the death penalty. One of the first witnesses to be called was Kelly Andrews, Kay's friend who was at the bar the night of the murder.
Did you specifically tell the defendant that Kay Baker was not dancing with the other guy?
Correct.
And how did the defendant react or respond to that?
I remember him saying something very strange along the lines of, I want to protect my queen and my kingdom. I was telling him he was being jealous and just to stop.
Perhaps the most compelling testimony of the trial came from someone at the hands of the defendant. Terry was convicted of assault to do bodily harm, but served just 3 years in prison.
So what happens next?
He keeps punching me wherever he can find access to punch me, so whether it be the face, the chest, the back, wherever.
At any point, do you say something to him to try and diffuse this situation?
Yes, there was a point when I yelled at him, I said, you know, I love you, why are you doing this? And he said, no you don't, you, I'm gonna kill you. And then the next thing you know, Mr. Terry comes around behind me and stabs me in the neck. This entire time I'm screaming for someone to come help me. And when we both heard the sirens, that's when he got up off of me and ran back in the house.
After both sides came to rest, it took the jury a little over an hour to return with a verdict.
Was this jury able to reach a unanimous verdict in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
We, the jury, find as follows. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder as charged.
The jury voted against the death penalty and recommended a sentence of life in prison. Before imposing sentence, Judge Christopher Sabella had a final statement for the defendant.
I listened to the testimony of Ms. Rogers. I don't know what happened in Michigan as far as the trial and the sentence. But based on what I heard, I believe that you should have been in prison in Michigan and that Miss Baker should still be alive. This is Florida. You're going to prison for the rest of your life.
Judge Sabella sentenced Terry to life in prison. He'll have no chance of parole.
Philip Conklin.
Next, we're in Ypsilanti, Michigan for an arraignment. 35-year-old Philip Conklin has been charged with arson and assault with intent to commit murder. A day earlier, according to police, Conklin was staying at his sister's house where he was supposed to be babysitting her 4 young kids. But instead, the defendant allegedly set fire to the home with the children still inside. Neighbors called the fire department, who quickly extinguished the blaze. None of the children were hurt. Conklin was arrested and officially charged. And today, he appears before Judge Tamara Garwood to hear if he'll make bond.
Count 1 alleges that you did make an assault upon the intent to commit the crime of murder. Do you understand this first charge?
No, I don't. That's
Okay, so I'm not asking if you agree or if you disagree with the charge. I'm asking if you understand that's what you've been charged with.
no, I don't. I don't understand.
You don't
that.
understand.
Nope.
Okay, so then we will go through that word by word. It alleges that you did that with intent, that you were going to accomplish the crime of murder. Do you understand that?
No, I don't. You guys
No.
are ridiculous.
Sir, do you understand what the charge is? Not do you agree with it, but do you understand what she's
Sure, I do. Yeah, you guys are out of your minds, though.
So the maximum penalty for that charge, it's a felony. It's life or any number of years. So do you understand that maximum penalty?
Yes.
After reviewing the arson charge, the judge asked prosecutor Jessica Blanche for the state's bond recommendation.
We're asking for a $50,000 surety bond in this case. The defendant allegedly took gasoline, poured it all over a house that housed children, and said he was going to burn the house down. The door was locked to where the children were. The police had to come in and retrieve the children from the locked door. If he does post that, I'm asking for a GPS tether and no-go to that address where the children were at.
The kids were not at that house at the time of the incident.
Right.
She's wrong.
You have the right
The
to
kids
remain
left to their grandmother's house. They were gone.
The judge ignores Conklin's outburst and moves on to her decision regarding bond.
Having read the information that's been presented to me, I'm concerned for the safety of the family involved here, and I'm concerned for the safety of the community at large.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Didn't do a dang wrong.
Okay, so your bond is going to be $150,000
Yeah,
cash
take that
surety.
$150,000, shove it up your ass.
Thank you, sir. You're all set. You can let the jail staff know you're done.
Before he exits, Conklin has one final comment for the court. After spitting at the camera and delivering an obscene finger gesture, Conklin's escorted back to his cell. He remains in custody, and his case is pending. That's it for this edition of Court Cam. I'm Dan Abrams. Thanks for watching. We're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida for a hearing. 21-year-old Deontay Rezilis has been charged with first-degree murder. 2 years earlier, Rezilis allegedly broke into the gated community home of 59-year-old Jill Halliburton Sue. The wife and mother of 2 was alone at the time of the incident. Armed with a knife he found in the house, Rezilis allegedly tied Jill up, put her in the bathtub, and then stabbed her multiple times, stole money, and left her for dead. Jill's body was discovered by her 20-year-old son, Justin, who called 911.
What is your emergency? Mama! And are you with her right now? Oh my God! Is she awake? No, she looks so cut up. Oh my God, my mom!
Initially, police told Justin he was a suspect, but when Rezilis' DNA was found at the crime scene, Rezilis was arrested and charged. He pled not guilty. At today's hearing, a judge will decide whether the death penalty will be on the table in the case. The courtroom is packed as bailiffs bring in Rezilis, as well as defendants from other cases on the day's docket. Earlier in the day, One of the other